Okay. Okay, I think we are good to go, folks. Sound check. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Um, my name's David Kirsten, and we're back with our 11 a.m. segment on Quantum Leap with Carolyn Richardson, who's a great East Bay area woodworker, and she does a number of things in that field, which we're going to take a look at. But first, I want to just quickly introduce my co-host Cory Knott and see if Cory, if you could give a little intro to who you are and why, maybe we'll leave it at that.
All right. Hey, I'm Cory Knott, and I, as co-host on the show, but I am the partners coach. I work with business partners as a coach and advisor to help them have a great relationship and a business that reflects the aspirations of all the partners involved.
Okay, great. And Carolyn, sometimes we'll get a bio or we'll do a little bit more research, but we often just like to leave it up to you to just tell us a little bit about your story and who you are. So, if you don't mind sharing, first, welcome to the broadcast. We're glad you made it. We had kind of a little snafu where I didn't get you the link in time, but you made it, and we're glad to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, so I'm Carolyn. I am a woodworker here in Oakland, mostly specialize in cabinets and shelving and that sort of thing. And about me, I guess, my background, I grew up in the Bay Area in New York, bi-coastal, went to high school out there, went to college down in LA. Always knew I love woodworking. I had taken a class in middle school in Piedmont, and I was always something I was going to do in life. I didn't know how it fit in. Um, but yeah, I entered the workforce and had a hard time finding something I loved. And eventually I just started asking the question, how do I work in a wood shop? What jobs can I apply for? And ended up here in this very wood shop where I am now apprenticing under a master woodworker. And yeah, it's been beautiful. I've been working here as an apprentice. I worked as a trim carpenter and came back and started leasing the shop last year and launched my business, One to One Woodworks.
Okay, great. And we wanted to give you an opportunity to, if you want to give us a quick tour of the shop or take a look at your website or anything you want to share. I'll just say I do come from a family of builders and woodworkers and also bakers. So I've kind of a special place in my, history for that. And like I was saying, my cousin actually does a lot of great woodworking up in outside of Seattle, and he trained all of his kids to do it too. So it's a great market up there for it. And I know in the Bay Area, although it can always be a bit challenging to connect with those ideal clients, which is why I recommended that you come on the podcast. And I did actually talk to our woodworker in our chapter. And I'm going to introduce you, who's an amazing guy that knows a lot of folks with those Victorian houses in the area. So, but with that, all and Cory may know some folks to connect you with as well. But feel free to take us through your website or if you have any projects that you're working on that you want
Yeah,
to share.
Yeah.
let me share my website here. All right. Yeah, so I've got on the homepage there, it's one of my,
I don't see it yet.
not yet.
I see it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, that's weird. You're not, do you still just see us, Cory?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not working. I have Zoom kind of all divided up these days.
Yeah, I see it on the live broadcast.
Okay, good.
Maybe if you hit the top right, Cory, for the camera view or the view, or it could be a glitch in Zoom for you.
Could
But
be a glitch. Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead, Carolyn. So
Yeah.
you can,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so I have some of the work that I've done here. It's kitchens, bathrooms, a lot of storage solutions. Some of them, actually, you know what? Let me show you some other. I've got some. Like, I get a lot of clients like this who just need storage. There's a lot of homes in the Bay Area that aren't, don't come with closets.
Idea. Yeah.
So yeah, built in, having something built in, it increases the value of your home, makes it more practical. So there's a lot of that. This space right here was a really awkwardly shaped closet, where a
Mhm.
good percentage of it didn't get used.
Mhm.
So we divided it into two spaces, and made the whole thing usable. And it's got that beautiful window we got to use to show off. So yeah, a lot of storage solutions, a lot of remodels, a lot of people who are coming in, and fixing up old homes, and a lot of, oftentimes the kitchens are what need to kitchens and bathrooms and cabinets need updating. So that, yeah, this is a good look at this. Trying to see. This is the most recent one. Oh yeah, you got a shot of the shop right here. But yeah, I'm in a small shop in North Oakland. I'm gonna
Oh,
stop my broadcast now.
okay, nice. No, perfect.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say makes you unique in the field in terms of folks who may be considering um, using you? Like, are there certain projects or types of clients that you gravitate towards more?
Yeah, I think my competition is IKEA. First of all, there's a lot of people who just want something there that's functional.
Mhm.
Um, and that's a great option for a lot of people. But some people they're looking for something more customized. And there's a lot of, my other competition are other cabinet shops. And what that field is looking like now is a lot of kind of computer driven building. You have a
Mm.
lot of, and they do great work. They do some amazing work, but there's things that they're not able to focus on. And a lot of times that means they don't want to take smaller projects and really put the time and attention into a smaller project. So those are the clients I get often, are people who've tried larger shops. They can't get the level of customization they want, um, the level of detail that they want, or even just someone to talk through the process. They may not fully understand what it is they want. They have this space, they know it's not functioning well the way it is, but they don't quite know if they're going to invest money, they want to really think about what's the best use of this space. So I'm someone who comes from, I was trained by a master builder who was trained in the apprentice process, from two different families that go back all the way to their lineage in Germany. And it's a old style of woodworking. And so I use a lot of techniques that I use some of the modern stuff. I don't use a CNC machine, which is one of the big differences with me and other cabinet shops. I'm doing everything on saws and hand tools. So there, it's you're gonna get, yeah, it's just a different style. It's a level of attention that is given to certain details. I won't go too much into the technical stuff, but
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
no, no, that's good. Um, I'm going to turn it over to Corey, and if you have any follow up or questions about any of those designs too, Corey, feel free.
Yeah, no, I live in a Depression era house, which has a lot of interesting nooks and crannies, and sometimes it's like you talk about closets that are ill shaped, and where the door's on one side and you go way deep into the other side. Or we have this cabinet, I'd say that probably goes back about 6 feet, which is up here at at my level. So looking in, and it's like it's just impossible to put things back there. Like, what do you put back there? And so it winds up being long-term storage, and that doesn't help anyone. Um, so yeah, and we've got just weird cabinetry everywhere. Pantries, people just built pantries is what they did. And now I'm thinking like, oh, maybe we could do something with that. Um, so do you work on many old houses too then? That's kind of one of the things you do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just worked on a house up in the El Cerrito Hills, and they
Hmm.
had a closet they had very little storage space, but they had this closet that they were in the kitchen that they had a water heater in, and they were able to change their hot water system, so that they could remove that. And they just had this closet, and it was working with some old walls and making something really modern in there, very, very useful. We used every inch of the space. Um, and we even thought about, like what can the kids reach, and where can they hide the Halloween candy? And it's like, yeah, I even measured their jars because they're canning people. So they had tons of mason jars. So we measured the jars and we had perfect space for everything. And it was fun. But yeah, I think that house was built in the 50s. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's just no storage in the whole house.
Yeah, I have this crawl space that's probably 700 square feet and it's about 5 feet high. And building it into a room would be nearly impossible. The cost these days, so some of my neighbors have done that, 40 years ago. Um, but now I'm thinking, maybe we do some carpentry in there because there's already shelves for like jars and stuff, but they're old. Um, so you got me inspired a little bit. I love the idea of carpentry, but I'm not allowed near sharp power tools. My ADHD is way too high, so things get cut off if I'm not careful. But I can do basic stuff. And my father, when I was a child, after the divorce, he bought an old house in Oakland, and it was just the ugliest thing. And he completely remodeled it. So I was around for watching all that, taking it in, and learned some skills. But again, not allowed near power tools too much. Saws and other things. Of course, I was pretty young at that time. So I have a lot of appreciation for what you do. But what would you say is your why? I mean, what really drives you to do this, say, versus other things that you might do? Or do you see something in the future that you'd really like to focus on because you find it more inspiring or passion for it?
A great question. I, the easy answer is that I've just been this is what I daydreamed about since I took woodshop class.
Okay.
You know, I,
Yeah.
and, but I also love people. I'm a people person and I love connecting with people and helping them solve a problem. Um, it's something that allows me to make everyone's lives better by leaning into my own like weirdness, like my
Mhm.
eccentricities that would be a burden on other jobs. Like, when you're working with cabinets, especially when you're working on old homes, you're
Mhm.
working with a lot of spaces that aren't flat or square or plumb.
Kind of moved
And
around. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And but you have to put in something that's perfect. And to get all the lines to be, when you put a laser level at the end of a job, you want everything from maybe a 10-foot span to be there. So
Right.
we're working, on a level of like 1/64 of an inch sometimes,
Mhm.
we're just creeping up on these, as close to perfect as we can. And I love that. And I think in a lot of jobs that gets in the way, being that detail oriented. But that's where I shine
Yeah.
in this job. So I think, and it makes life, it's something that I do that I know affects people's lives. Like I've seen one of my favorite examples is a couple I worked for that had just gotten married. They were older and they both had tons of clothes and they fought all the time. I could tell how serious it was. They were like fighting in front of me about their clothes and their shoes. I like they decided to spend money on these closets and they looked beautiful, they were functional, and I could tell like they were joking about how I was cheaper than a marriage counselor, but like I felt how meaningful it was, like how much they're going to interact with that space. And so yeah, it's the people, being able to give a gift that I have to people. And what I'd like to do more of, I love the artistry of it. I love the design. A lot of
Mhm.
times I'm working off of drawings from a designer or an architect. But sometimes I'm just figuring it out based on my experience. So I'd love to do more design work. I love time when I am just in the shop, nothing to do, no time limits, and I can just make beautiful things and just try out new techniques. So yeah, if I hope that answers your question.
Sure. Yeah. No, just always curious about what drives
Yeah, I'll
people.
just add to it, Corey, that really a certain design like that can change a whole room and can really
Sure.
put your own personal touch on it. I know the place I lived in Oakland had these great built-in cabinets, for plates. So we put kind of our like at the time some wedding stuff in there, and then some other cut glasses, and but it really made that whole room under the window. So I think if people have a room, maybe it's a smaller room that you have a window, if you envision like a great kind of cabinet in there, it can really make that whole room. Even the rentals too, even if you're going to rent that place out, it's something that'll stay with the place and last for decades, you know.
Yeah. Um, I was going to throw an oddball question to you. How do you feel about building chicken coops?
That's a fun question. I don't know. I guess it'd be if it was just for the function, I'd probably tell you to go hire someone else because it would
Right. Yeah.
I'd charge
Yeah.
you too much because I'm like I would be like I would that's why I don't, I don't do, people will ask me to do framing and other types of carpentry, but it's really a different specialty. So my skills are wasted on that, but I would,
Maybe.
if
Yeah.
it was for myself and it was just for functionality, I think it'd be fun. I love building things, so
So here's
yeah.
an because I just had a meeting with somebody as a realtor and has done very well for himself, and he wanted to do chickens for his kids. I have chickens. When I talk about chickens, everybody starts calling me like, "Can you help me with chickens?" And most people do not want to spend vast sums on chickens, but he had just finished building a $10,000 chicken coop and was
That
asking me
sounds
for it.
fun.
And he needed some
Yeah.
redesigns because it's like you've got to have an egg catcher in there, things
I
like
bet
that.
that thing
Yeah.
looks cool.
So if I get those calls, I know like who do I, send those referrals to because I don't know any carpenters who build chicken coops at that level. I mean, at the lower level, like mine was, $800 in Sacramento, and he shipped it out. But when it gets to that level where they want it to integrate with the house and look like part of their structure, and cleaning and all that is other. It's an interesting. I know it's just an oddball thing, but it's part of my life. So.
Well, I'd put it this way. If it's a project that will cover my bills and I get to build something, I'm game. I want to hear about it,
All
So
right, sounds good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see this chicken coop now. I bet it's awesome.
I don't know if I have pictures. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, I know he overbought on chickens too, which is kind of funny. That's another thing. Chicken
I
math.
was scoping out a rabbit hutch, but our neighbor has this whole cat sanctuary, which is, you know, you want it to
Well,
kind of
yeah,
fit in with the yard and stuff, Yeah.
yeah. See, for me, it's just I just put things out there. I don't care. I'm in Vallejo. Um, so how's B&I been for your business? Okay, we'll go back to what we were talking about before.
Oh, how BNI? Yes, it's been awesome. I didn't. It wasn't even the referrals, although that's been amazing. I love the quality of the referrals that I get. And I love how excited people are about getting referrals for each other. It's been wonderful. But I think what I was looking for the most and what I'm finding is a lot of mentorship and a lot of,
Yeah,
it's becoming a owner operator. Like, this is my income. This is my entire income now. And a year and a half ago, that wasn't the case. I had part-time work to support myself. So I think learning from other business owners, starting to understand the mindset and what I need to bring to the table. That's blown me away. I had a one-to-one this morning with someone from my chapter, and I'm just so impressed by everyone, and it's nice to have role models like this in my life who are actively supporting me. So yeah, I highly recommend it to anyone who's thinking about it.
Yeah, she's in Visions of Exchange, which meets in downtown Oakland on Thursday mornings. So that's a great chapter to go visit. And you can reach out to her if you want to come visit the chapter too. It's always good to be on the lookout for guests. So,
And we're
yeah.
looking for an electrician right now. If anyone's
Oh, what's his name left, huh?
Nick, yeah,
Nick.
yeah,
Yeah, that's too bad. I had him do a lot of work in my house.
yeah. He's
Um, and then he got too busy, so it's hard to get him out here. Um, all right. So who is your ideal client then right now?
Yeah, I think small to medium projects right now. I'm really looking for, yeah, the clients who are trying to optimize space. They have, maybe they don't want to blow a huge amount on like a whole remodel, but they want to optimize their space a little more. Those projects are a lot of fun for me. and they're fast. They're projects that we can come in and do. If we're not looking for a magazine quality finish, we're just doing something that looks good and makes your space upgraded exponentially. I love those clients. Or if you want, specialty, like right now I've been doing a lot of like standalone furniture. I haven't done as much of that in the past. It's been a lot of fun, benches and that sort of thing. And some of the clients I have now are it's very artistic work, and I'm loving that. I'm loving being able to use some of the techniques that yeah are tools that I don't often get to take out, and jigs that I don't often get to make. So I'm having a lot of fun doing that type of the furniture work as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we
Yep.
would love to make some more introductions for you, and we'll be on the lookout for potential referrals as well. And you're always welcome to come visit back at our chapter. That visitor day is always kind of a bit crazy, but we got that coming up next week. We were just doing a preview of that. So we look to keep in touch, Carolyn, and thanks for coming on. We'll talk more about your videos and some of those connections soon. So
Yeah.
we'll end a few minutes early here, and
Cool.
thanks everyone for joining Quantum Leap, and thanks Carolyn for taking the time.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Thank you, Corey. This was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.